Welcome to Profit Ticket. Today we are going to discuss about rental agreement clauses. So I have seen many rental agreements. There are many clauses are missing. So when there is a dispute comes, this is going to play major role. So I just quickly gone through the Rent Control Act and picked up few sections and which has to be there in rental agreement when there is a dispute. This is going to help. So we want to give an idea about it comprehensive, agreement clauses which has to be included in rental agreement. So that is the topic today we are going to discuss. I'm going to list down these sections and the points. Which are all the points has to be included in rental agreement. I have seen one case from my customer. The tenant not moved out. So owner forced to do an eviction process. So when they do eviction process, the agreement what they executed, which has missing few points. Because of that, that owner facing some challenges when they go to court. So the court of law is checking these things. These things are not captured. For example, eviction ground. What ground eviction can be done? It has to be conveyed to the tenant when they move in. So this is one example like that. I am putting few sections and examples, and so that you can easily understand and you make sure that these points are included in your rental agreement when you rent out. So this is mainly for a first-time rental owners who wanted to rent out their properties and they don't know which are all the clauses has to be included in the rental agreement. So they don't initially don't show much attention, but as long as if it goes smooth relationship, it's okay. But if there is some issue, some dispute, how do we take this with the, with the missing clauses? So that is the point discussing today. What are all the rent agreement clauses? So this is the topic which we are going to discuss, and this is exclusively for I am covering the residential properties. Commercial, of course, there is some differences will come that I can put it a separate video. This I am giving it for a residential property owners and the tenants also. It is not that only for owners. I classified there are set of clauses which goes common for both. Like that I listed out, and there are certain points goes against the owner only, and there are certain point goes against the tenant. So like that I classified three sections, and I'm discussing few clauses that make sure that you included in your agreement. So the target audience are property investors, owners, tenants, NRI, OCI. They have a property here. They want to rent out their property. And the disclaimer is ideas shared here for information and education purpose only. You need more detail, you can connect with us or talk to your lawyer. Get the lawyer reviewed your agreement so that you are on a safer side when there is a dispute. Like if it is no dispute, if no issues, and there is no problem. But when there is a dispute, so we should have a correct information on our agreement. So that is the point I'm discussing. So these are all the videos I put it for property investments like managed farmland, BIPA, Planning Authority, airport area developments, Power of Attorney Investment Club. Lot of differences between Kata and lot of investment avenues I'm discussing to diversify your investment. So that you go into the deep in, for example, managed farmland, commercial investment, crowdfunding investment. So like this, I'm capturing different investment avenues. So you can understand this and diversify your fund across the investment avenues. Particularly for real estate only I'm discussing. I'm not discussing something like a gold or stocks, not much. Mutual fund also I discussed with respect to real estate. So there is another one, property rental. So when I say property, it has a four different, classification. One is the first investment, renting the property, managing the property, and sale. So I am in the rent and I'm capturing few videos for rental related. So these are all the videos available. For example, you are renting out to a foreigner. So what are all things you supposed to understand? and why the rent agreement for 11 months we are making. If it goes beyond that, it has to be registered. So there are certain things I am capturing here. So this is the one, what are all the rent agreement clauses we should include. So that is the video today I'm capturing. So please watch this to understand thoroughly and make sure that these things are included in your agreement. So the first one is that why is this, this law, Karnataka Rent Control Act 1999. So this helps to protect the interest of both owners and tenants. And if you are drafting an agreement, you should know clauses. What are all the clauses we should, mutually agree between owners and tenants. And I classified common clauses for both tenants and owner specific clauses and tenant specific clauses. So I put it in a table which has what is the clause which talks about certain point in the rent agreement and its description and example to understand, and which section in the law this particular point is referring. So that you can also, if you need more detail, you can Google it and see more detail on that section which talks about this. So first point is, parties and address. So first party, second party. There are two people are involved in the rental agreement. One is owner and tenant. Owners may be a co-owner also, or one owner of co-joint owners. So absolute owner may be two. So on that one person, we are executing as a first party who is the owner. And the second party is the tenant. So maybe a family husband is the second party. So we need to capture their address and their complete details. Like with the ID card, you collect Aadhaar card and see the name as per the Aadhaar card and capture it in your rent agreement. Similarly, owner also, tenant can ask, power bill or a society records, maintenance bill payment. Just make sure that, you are executing that agreement on their name. So that you are on a safer side, and deposit you are transferring, you should know whom you are transferring it, and make sure that the society record and tenant and rent transfer matching. You transfer to some father account, it may be purpose solving, but if you go to claim, to corporate, they may not agree. So they'll look for you. Did you transfer to the absolute owner account? So you should see these things. Just capture their names as per the records and address where they live in. And that is what I discussed in the section 2 of Rent Control Act 1999. This is the, as per law, we are capturing the data. So that's why I put it like this. So many points are self-explanatory. I'm just giving the quick understanding about the each point. Second is flat and property specification. So we should give which flat you are renting out, that specification. For example, 2 BHK flat, 1,200 square feet, located on third floor, some XYZ apartment, and the address. So this has to be captured. This is discussed in section 3 of the law Rent Control Act. So like this, I am capturing few points just to see the example and understand each point and make sure that these points are included in your agreement so that you are safe when there is any dispute. So rent and payment terms. For example, tenant agrees to pay 35,000 rent monthly via bank transfer before 5th of every month. So this is one portion of the your agreement. That is as per the section 4 compliant. So you are compliant as long as you include this, you are compliant as per the section 4 of this law. And 4 is security deposit. So when you do a security deposit transfer, just to make sure that you mention the so and so amount and interest free refundable upon the rent agreement termination. Minus if any damages rented you will be minus on the inspection will be minus. And when they do the transfer to owner account, just capture that screenshot and include in the agreement also. There is nothing wrong, just a transaction happened and from so and so account to so and so account, so that is also act as a proof in future. So make sure that you do majority on the online transfers. so that you are always on the safer side. In case if owner forgot or a tenant forgot, they can exchange the screenshot and convey that this is being paid. Next one is the use of premises. So the residential purpose only. See, you should mention this, the premises, I'm renting out the so and so property for residential purpose only, to stay maybe a corporate employee. So no illegal activities allowed. For example, drug peddling is an illegal activity. We are not giving a flat for such people. So if anything happened and found guilty, and the tenant will be the responsible. That is as per section 11. So maintenance and repairs. So when there is a maintenance and repairs, how does that be taken care? So owner handles major repairs and tenant maintain the property. Major repair meaning like suppose geyser, life is over, 5 years, 8 years over. So new geyser has to be fit. So that is something that tenant will not take it. So that replacement has to happen, that owner takes it. Maintaining the property, for example, some bulb fused. So that tenant should take care. Some tap leak. Minor fixes, tenant should take care. If it is major one, get it approved by the owner and it can be claimed from the owner also. So that is as per 16 section. This is the law compliant clause. And termination clause. Suppose if you want to terminate the rent agreement, how do you terminate? Either party can terminate with 1 month notice in writing. So this also has to be captured in the agreement. This is according to section 4. And subletting rules. So there is no subletting without owner's written consent. So owner should allow if you are subletting to another person. Otherwise, whom owner talking, they only should live. If somebody else living, and that should be informed to owner and make sure that owner approve that person. Then it makes sense to sublet to that person. This is also section 21. And pet policy. So if there is any pet you're going to put in your flat, so that should be allowed and written permission from the owner. Should not directly bring into the flat. And one day when owner comes in, you should owner surprise that you have pet. So any such things, any cat, dog, or any pet if you are bringing, just to make sure that inform to owner and get approval. Then you bring that to the flat or by before once you get the approval, then you can go ahead and buy it or bring that your pet. So don't bring that without prior approval because some society has an objection. The society itself, they don't allow the pet. So you bring there, then the lot of confusion, with society people, and they don't have a society law to have a pet in their society. So these confusions will come. So this is a general compliance. Society rule and compliance. So the tenant agree that to comply with all society rules and regulations. So each society have certain rules and regulations, and all the tenants and owners should comply that regulation formed by the society. So that law, that's also should be compliant. So that also a tenant should agree whatever the society comes. For example, general body meeting, they have some resolution passed and agreed. So the tenants also should comply that they should not go and object to the society people or president, secretary. No, not allowed. So that's also should be captured. Then any restrictions in some people, they don't have society, they don't have a bachelors allowed, and no louder music after 10 p.m. No illegal activities. Locks usage. Sometimes owner has certain instructions to use the lock, certain instructions to use the balcony door, certain instructions use hob and chimney. So in case if such things, you can capture this separately, do's and don'ts, so that they also aware. So how do you pay it? For example, even a BESCOM bill payment. So when they move in, I have seen owners giving the reference number of the account ID of the BESCOM bill, so that they can go and pay in the BESCOM bill online itself. without consulting owner. So owner has captured this already. If they ask, then owner can refer it. Please refer it in the rent agreement. It is captured the account ID, some gas ID, some internet connections, some contact numbers, you can call them. So all those things can be captured. This is a general complaint. It's not that law is insisting. It is a good to have. And penalty on delayed rent. So some owner don't like, paying rent beyond the specified date in the agreement. For example, if they mention that 5th, so if it is 5th, then tenant supposed to pay within 5th. If not, there will be an additional penalty per day, if you're crossing the mentioned date in the agreement. And tenant data IDs, collect all the ID and tenant data, who and all occupying the property. For example, a family, some XYZ person is a primary tenant and his wife and son. There are 3 people going to stay. So this is what we should capture as per the tenant given the data. So that we are giving authorized stay to these people. Of course, the parents visit, relatives visit, those things are okay. Occasional visit and visitor and coming and going, but permanent resident should be captured in the agreement. Car parking, and where is the car parking allocated, which level in the apartment, and what is the number also should be captured. And dispute resolution on what is the way of if there is any dispute arise, how do we solve it? There is a 2 way to solve. One is arbitration. There is a separate law. There is it's outside the court settlement. We don't need to go as per the court rule. There is an arbitrator, is a common person appointed by the owner and tenant. So whatever this person says, both should agree it. So that is arbitration. There is separate law is there. I'll try to post another video, but this is the arbitration process. If this arbitration is not going through, there is another way is the court, our regular process. There is a big lengthy process. We should try to resolve at least this. If not this, then the total, go with the as per the law. It will run cases for years. So that kind of a situation, the rent control code. This is as per section 28. And eviction conditions, on what ground eviction owner can give it to the tenant. So non-payment of the rent, suppose if they are not paying the rent on time, unauthorized subletting. So owner not, subletting and unauthorized subletting, or a property damage. If there is any property damage, that on these grounds, owner can give an eviction notice to the tenant. So this also should be captured in agreement and as per the section 21. So now that is a owner specific. What we have seen is that a tenant and owner both together. Here the owner specific, and owner can hear the rent increase on what percentage owner wants it. So it should be a standard 7.5 to 10%. So 7.5 example, I captured it on the renewal. Every 11 months, end of the renewal, there will be 7.5%. It is basically, it's syncing with the inflation. So that much percentage increases. This is as per the section 7.5 should be mentioned. And property insurance, suppose if any natural calamities, for example, earthquake or, floods, lightning. So there should be a property insurance should cover these things. It should not go and put on the tenant. So that insurance coverage also, if owner has it, good to mention. If not there, I recommend to take it and keep with you. Property tax, any property related taxes, owner takes it. That usually tenant will not pay. Such things has to be paid by the owner. It's good to have class so that tenant also understands. Suppose if they forgot it, notice will come to tenant. So the tenant will, we don't know what to do, then they have to go and report to owner. So those things will happen. So the property tax responsibility lies with the owner. Access for repair. Suppose if any repair is there in the property, for example, some seepage is there. So there are society people coming and seeing and fixing the issues. This has to be informed to tenant at least a day before, tomorrow, so and so time coming. you please allow that. So just to make sure that you inform to the tenant before owner goes. So that's also should be mentioned here so that the tenant aware. Suppose if it is any emergencies, okay. But if it is scheduled maintenance, it should be informed prior before going into tenant living premises. Dispute resolution. So in case if any dispute, that arbitration as per this we discussed. Eviction condition also discussed. And tenant specific. Now what are all the tenant specific? So tenant pays the rent 35K to be paid 5th of each month. So this is tenant responsibility. You should pay whatever the date agreed. Make sure that rent is getting paid to the owner account. Maintenance obligations. So tenant responsible for minor repairs and upkeep. So a tenant should not go and tell that small things like tap leak, tube light fuse, and some minor things, repairs in the flat. So those things, tenant should upkeep and maintain such things. For example, battery water, I've seen in a flat, they use the UPS and battery. The water getting dried every 6 months. This is because their use it's getting dried. So those things should not go to the owner and try to claim and inform them, ask him to send a person. Inside apartment, there is electrician can help. Or some urban company kind of a ticket you raise it, electrician will come and solve it. So those smaller things, minor repair to maintain the property, it lies with the tenant. This is as per section 16. And security deposit return on what basis? When the security deposit will be returned by the owner to tenant. Deposit refunded within 1 to 7 days. Some people have wanted more than this, but usually there is an inspection has to happen when they return and see the assessment of the damage and calculate and get it approved by the tenant before transferring. Just understand, help them to understand why the deductions. Once they mutually agree, an owner transfer the deposit to tenant. This is as per section 7. Alteration to property. If any alterations, there is no approval given by default to the tenant. So that should be given permission by the owner, then only tenant should do it. It's not that directly they go do it. For example, one tenant wanted to do a partition. They just went ahead and did the alteration in the hall. Should not be done. So any partitions drilling on the wall has to be routed through the owner and get the approval, then only do it. No direct permission will be given to the owner to do any alterations. Unless and until something like essential like TV fitting, even though you should inform and do that. There is a drill happening and some property walls were not good, builders were not done properly, so owners are concerned about drilling the wall. Just put a word that there is a drill going to happen, so I am doing this so and so TV fitting it, so I don't have a TV stand in the bottom to retain it. Those things are okay. Utilities and bill payment. So tenant pays the electricity, water and gas usage bills. So their usage, they are paying it. That is their responsibility. So this is captured under section 28. Damage and repairs. Report any damage in the property. Suppose the owner may not be at locally available. So they may be away. So they want to see, your report on time. Then they'll go and see what can be done. Any vendor can be connected. All those things they will support. So that is as per section 16. So these are all the critical points with respect to agreement clause. You just make sure that this is being informed. This is being captured so that you are safe when there is a dispute in the property. Suppose tenant not moving out, then how do you protect yourself? So this is what the point will protect owner during the eviction time. So this is our vision, mission, what we do, our values, real estate services, buy, sell, rent, and we are planning franchisee model also leveraging this. There is a SaaS product development happening. We'll be releasing that soon. This is our service catalog. What are all services we do? Self-explanatory. Any doubts you can connect with us. This book I'm writing mainly for traveling guys who are NRI, OCI, who want to invest in India. So what are all things they have to, uh, you know, understand before investing into remote location like India. So we have some resource requirements also. So pay as you go model, the value, whatever the value they deliver, we are ready to pay for it on these areas. Franchisee business consultant, social media marketer, high ticket closer, manpower consultant, and hybrid app stack development. So this stack developer and lead architect. So these are the areas we have opening. If anybody interested to work on fixed project or a conversion basis, please connect with us. There is a separate channel in our YouTube business partner. Under that, all the videos are captured. Please watch that for more details. So please ping us in case if you have any villa or flat management in South Bangalore. We do for last 10 years. We have a lot of customers we are serving. In case your property in these areas, we can help you. If it is other area, we are expanding it and we will connect the other areas of Bangalore also. So if you like this video, please give thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell icon and share it with friends and family, those who are renting out their property first time or renting out their property, renting as a tenant some other property. So they also can help, so and so clauses missing in your agreement, try to include so that both are, it protects the interest of both. So that is the idea behind these clauses. It's not pointing anyone is bad or good, nothing like that. So if it is some issues, it will help both. So that is the idea. So I hope this is helpful for those who wanted to rent out first time or already renting their property. This will be helpful. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye bye.